Hi everyone, it's TrailTrekBeck. So today I'm still out in the Canadian Rockies. The trail I'm at today is called Maligne Canyon. So if you don't know where that is, I'm actually up in Jasper. So I'm in Jasper National Park. I was before in Banff National Park doing some hikes there if you watched the previous videos. But today I did the very long but beautiful and scenic drive from Banff to Jasper to get up here and do some more hiking. It was a 3-hour drive, but if you can drive it, I highly recommend doing it because it was absolutely gorgeous. The 3 hours, I know it's long, it goes by so quickly, but it's just stunning views every moment of the way, and there's so much wildlife to see. However, okay, so let's talk about Maligne Canyon. So as you can see, not only is there a bridge in front of us, but the trail here is paved at this point, and for most of the trail it's actually very accessible for dogs and kids and strollers. It's super easy to walk this trail. There are stairs, but they're all human-made stairs, so as you decline down the canyon, it's actually very easy to do this walk. And you can see that it's not very shaded, so you might break a little bit of a sweat if it's hot, but it's easy, so I highly recommend it, and the views are super stunning. So you can see we're at the first bridge. You can hear the water running underneath. Right now you can see the canyon behind me and beneath me. You can't see the water too much just yet, but as we advance down the trail and we get to the other bridges, then we'll be able to see the water nice and up close. I'm really excited to get there for you. Just letting you take a nice look at the water. So this is the very first bridge. Not too much to see right now, but you can see how this is where it starts, and as we get further down the canyon, you can see how it opens up more and we see more of the water. So not too much to see right now. I'm going to continue moving down the trail coming off of the first bridge here. You can see the trail still very clearly marked. It's very easy still. Because we're so high up on the canyon right now, it is all fenced in for safety because we are very close to the edge of the canyon, and it's quite a steep fall. So this is good for kids and dogs, right? If you wanted to come out here for a family hike, this is a very ideal place. So I'm going to just take us down the trail, just keep going down, get us further, more kind of up close and personal with the water. You can see there's lots of trees around. Again, very common in the Rockies, tall, skinny trees. A little bit barren sometimes, the wind gets to them. So you can see we got easy stairs going down. So again, not too much to see with the water just yet, but this kind of does give you a really nice visual of the canyon itself and how deep it actually is. So Maligne Canyon measures over 50 meters deep, which is about 160 feet. So it is very deep. And then of course we've got that very powerful underground stream going through it. So Maligne Canyon is a type of slot canyon, and slot canyons are actually very common in the Rocky Mountains. And as you can see before us, that a slot canyon is basically a channel that is very narrow and very steep, and essentially just serves as a drainage way. And so these canyons are, they're very common in this region, and that's mainly due to the easily soluble nature of the limestone. So there's a little bit of fun science for us today. I'm not a geologist. I don't know as much as I would like to know. But there are some things that I've researched that I can bring you some fun facts. But yeah, so again, it's just stunning to look at. I love how it's so narrow and steep. I think slot canyons are absolutely gorgeous and very unique. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of home because I live in Ontario, and my favorite trail in the whole world is the Bruce Trail. And the Bruce Trail follows a lot of the escarpment, and the escarpment has also been formed from water erosion. So it's really neat. You can see that water starting to pick up a little bit. So as much as I am completely stunned right now, this is my first time at a canyon like this in the Rockies. I want to keep taking us further down the trail because there are other bridges to hit. In total, there are 6 different bridges on this little canyon loop if you decide to do the whole trail. And like I said before, like the water just gets more dramatic and we get much more closer to it as we go down. So I'm just going to keep taking you down further. You're going to see me do a couple of cuts here just to get us nice and close to the water. So we can start to see now how that water's picking up, getting much more rapid, much more powerful. It is an underground stream, right? So it's got some power behind it. And again, looking at the canyon, you can tell how long and narrow and steep it is. So I'm just going to keep taking us down this beautiful trail. And as I can, I'll just keep leaning over the fence here and showing you more of the water. Again, it's still very steep. The water's quite far down. It is about 50 meters down below us. Look at that. Look at that. Just the power is coming through. So it gets super, super narrow there. So we got a ton of water rushing into a very narrow part of the canyon. So that's why it looks so almost violent. It's so dramatic, right? But water is definitely a force to reckon with, right? So we'll keep going. It is starting to get a little bit busy here. We got lots of families out. I'm trying to be very careful not to get them on the camera. I came out super early. It's about 7:30 right now, and the parking lot wasn't even half full. But in those cars, there's lots of families because this is a very family-friendly place because of the easy nature of the trail. So I'm gonna try my best to get you some nice views without too many people in the shot. I'll try our best here. So again, that was just the bridge. We were up there. So that's the second bridge we've hit so far. We got 6 in total to go to. I'll just let you listen to that rushing water. I love the way the canyon isn't just completely linear either. It curves through the rocks as well. However, the power of water decided to push through and erode the rock around it. It's just made this curve through the canyon is quite lovely. It's very unique. So that's the bridge we were just on. That's the second bridge that we did. So just giving you a nice view of the water rushing underneath it before we continue to move on down further the trail. Again, we're still secured in by fences. You can see someone beside me getting some pictures. We're trying not to bump each other, but we're just both completely stunned by how beautiful it is. So I'm going to keep going further down. I hear the water. I can't see it just yet. So let's make our way further down. I'm following the fence line here. You could probably see it a little bit. So again, it's so steep, right? And it's so deep. So sometimes it's hard to see the water because it's much further down than maybe we realize. We'll keep going. Again, you can see how easy the trail is to trek here. Try to get you a view from over here. Just looking at the nice escarpment edge too, it's just gorgeous. Looking at the rushing water. I love the sound of water. It's soothing me. Okay, again, just making our way further down the trail. I'm turning the camera around so you can kind of see where exactly we are instead of just having me stare at the canyon for you. But again, like of course the canyon is the breathtaking stunner that we all come here to see. So many beautiful trees around and the sun's starting to come up. Okay, so we're on the 3rd bridge. We're about halfway through right now. It's not a very long trail, so it's very easy if you're coming here for a morning stroll or maybe a trail run, or you're bringing the kids. It's a very, very easy and accessible trail, and of course it's gorgeous. So and it's so safe for kids, right? Because it's all fenced in. So I'll show you the other side of the bridge now, the way that we're going to start trekking down. So this part of the trail is very open too. You can see that we've got lots of trees around us, but there's not really much shade on us. We're on a more kind of a human-made trail at this point to let us get down the canyon and see its natural beauty. And as I get more towards the ending of the trail and I do that loop back, you can see how I kind of get up more on the mountainside and in some more shade. But for now it's very open, so again, just make sure that you're wearing sunscreen and you bring lots of water because it is warm and that sun is hot. You see the water starting to get more dramatic now. It opened up a little bit. The escarpment edge on the far side there's dropped down a bit. You see the characteristics of kind of going from that steep canyon and more open into the mountainside now. It's very interesting. You see the sun there peeking through the trees. So I just moved a little bit further down the trail. I just made a cut because there's lots of people starting to come onto the trail now. There's little kids running around. So I'm just going to keep trying to cut down the trail a little bit that I can. The trail is relatively the same for the first half of the loop, just because we're following a very nicely paved, well, it's not all paved, but nicely kind of manicured, I should say, trail. So it's very easy to walk, and it looks pretty much relatively the same all the way down. So I'm not really showing you too much of that. I'll just show a little bit, but more so I really want you to see how beautiful the canyon is, and even right now how wide it's gotten. So it almost looks more like a rushing river right now, right? We went from that really narrow, steep and deep canyon to much more open space here. So now it looks more like a rushing river, right? So it's neat how it's had that characteristic change. So you can see in front of us how that tends to look more like a mountainside now instead of a canyon, right? The water is still rushing forward. You can see the water, it's widened. The path is widened, so it's gotten much more fuller looking and much more dramatic looking. But it does tend to change shape a little bit further down constantly as we go, you'll see. So that's kind of a nice little dynamic change throughout. So it's a very unique canyon, I find. Got the little dip down there, water picking up some speed. Looking absolutely marvelous. I just find water so stunning. So I'll do some cuts here to get us going. You see the trail still looking pretty similar. Again, nice and easy stairs to go down. So we were just at the top looking down on this, and I'm giving you a view at the bottom here. Just constantly moving down the fence line and just peeking the camera over to show you as the water rushes through the canyon. Again, just making our way down the length of the canyon. You just hear that water rushing. And keep following it down. You see the mountainside on the far there has gotten taller again. It kind of dipped down and came back up. And of course that's the nature of the Rockies and canyons, right? It's very neat. It's amazing what water erosion can do and how it can form paths through any kind of piece of earth, really. It just amazes me. Water is such a powerful, powerful force. And that's why we have fences here, to keep us nice and safe. So you can see this part here is very, very narrow, and we are again up much higher on the canyon here by the water. So we do kind of climb up a little bit, then climb down, and then climb up a little bit and climb down. So you can probably tell as I've advanced down the trail, there's been times where I walked down the stairs and then walked up the stairs. And of course, we are still on mountainous terrain. So again, we're going to have that up and down here. So, ooh, fun. I found a little spot here that I can get off trail a little bit. My mom would kill me if I'm doing this. I'm just kidding. I'm being safe. I promise I won't go in. And I'm getting nice and close to the river here because we just went down a bit of the mountain edge here. So now I can get nice and close and personal. I'll go for a dip. Just kidding. I'll be gone. But yeah, that's as close as I'll get. My mom's probably going to kill me. I'm just kidding. Sorry, Mom. I went off trail just a little bit. If you don't have kids, go for it. But it's easy. Like, it was nice and flat, so it was an easy little trek out. It was completely safe, and of course, like, you can tell the power of the water. Don't go in it. So I'm just back on the main trail. I did kind of sneak through the fence a little bit just to get us up nice and close. I made sure no one was around. I didn't want to give anyone bad ideas. I'm sorry. But I just wanted to get nice and close to the water. There was a nice, beautiful breeze, of course, coming off of it. And it's there's not much shading, and it's super hot today, so it was quite lovely. I'm just showing you that again. You know, you can tell like now our side is flattened. The water bed is widened. It looks more like a rushing river now, right? We've kind of gone from that very steep and deep canyon look again to widening, to narrowing, to widening again. So it's very neat how the power of this water has formed the rock around it for its own little passageway. So again, nice and close here. I'm not going to jump the fence or go underneath it, I promise. That was just a one-time thing. Kind of got a little mini waterfall in front of us there. Walk us down and get us a little bit closer. I should go jump on that rock and get us nice and close. Just kidding, I won't do it. Or no, I would, but there's people around. I might get in trouble. All right, so I just took us further down the trail. You can see again, we were just nice and close and down lower. Now we've climbed back up, and we've got another high point of view. And that's been pretty common on the trail, going up and down because the mountainous terrain that we're on. So you can see here, we're up so high, and we're actually much further away from the water now. So I'm just taking us through the trail nice and quick so you can see the next bridge that we're going to get to. Again, I'm just letting you see the surroundings here. You can see that it's very, very open. There's not a lot of shade despite some trees around. You can see the mountains in the back there. Now, this part is not fenced. I'm not sure why, so just be careful. But it is very narrow, and that is a steep hill to my left. So just be careful if you're here. But again, you can tell it's widened right up. It's turning into that kind of Maligne river look now. We're further away from the canyon, but you can see that bridge in the distance. That's our target. That's our last bridge that we're going to get to. And here we are. I just want to do a quick cut to get us there. So this bridge is, you can actually start here. So there's parking here. And what a lot of people will do is, if the parking where I was at, it's a bigger lot, but if it's full, they come down here and park. And actually, now that I've done the trail, I highly recommend parking down here and starting at the last bridge and then working your way up through the loop. That way you can kind of see the water rushing towards you, and I think you get a better view of it. You can see it rushing towards you as you go up the trail. So I came down the trail, which is more the popular way to do it just because there's the visitor center and the gift shop up there and the bigger parking lot. But if you started down here, it's just down the road for parking. It's a very small trail, just a loop, so it's not hard to find the second parking lot. You start down here on this bridge and then you walk towards the rushing water instead of following it down. But you can do either way. I think it is kind of neat to start with no water and then end up with the big scene at the end, but then it's also nice to follow the water up. So it's whatever you prefer, but both ways are completely accessible. So this is the big bridge. This is the main bridge. You can see the riverbed below us is very, very wide now. It's almost like a rushing river again, right? So we've had, again, it goes from narrow to wide, narrow to wide. But even the sides of the escarpment have gone completely flat. So I left the bridge and I'm doing the rest of the loop here. A lot of people will just go from bridge to bridge. I'm going to do the full loop. It's not long, so if you're interested in doing it, go for it. You can see that I'm climbing up the mountainside a little bit. There's a little bit of steepness, but it's very, very short, so it's easy to get up and get through. But this is the part that's going to loop me back around to the parking lot where I started. So I'm just going to get us through this nice little trail wooden area. It's quite lovely. We've got a little bit more shade now, but you can tell not a ton. But I want to get up to the edge here and get some mountain views for you. So I'll just do another cut here and get us there. You can see we're walking through almost like a forest type lane, and it's really interesting because now just down to our right is where the canyon is. So we're not far from it. You just can't really tell because it's so far down the hill now. All right, so we are coming up on the last little bit of the loop. I'm going to come up here and give you a nice view from this cool rock that seems to be so strategically placed. So I'm going to stand on it, get a nice view of the valley before us. You see those beautiful mountains? So we're up much higher now. All right, so I just made a quick couple cuts to get us back to the beginning where I started. So you can see there's that fenced area. We got some people going in. That's the way we went. I'm heading out now. And as always, I'd like to leave you with some stats and pictures. So the Maligne Canyon Loop took me 5.45 kilometers to do. If you went down just to the last bridge, the 6th bridge there and back, that would probably save you about 1.5 kilometers, but I did the full loop. So the elevation gain was 143 meters. Again, that's because we do kind of go up and down alongside the canyon, and then I did the loop, which took me up the hill a little bit. And my moving time was 1 hour and 53 minutes. So that is because I did slow down sometimes to take pictures and videos, but you could probably do it a little bit quicker. So that's it. Thank you so much for joining me today on my first canyon experience in the Rockies. I do have more on the list as well as lots of other trails, so I hope you continue to join me. And as always, keep trekking.